Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Bonjour, epekae to my little corner of the internet. My name is Yara de Julio, and today we're going to be talking about the art of letting go. Quick disclaimer, today's topic is going to be a bit on the heavier end. I will incorporate my humor. If you are sensitive about topics regarding depression, mental health, anxiety, etc., I would highly advise that you step away from this video just to keep your mental space clear. I'll just catch you in the next video. But without further ado, let's get into today's topic. Before I went to college, I had a severe lapse in mental health. I wasn't eating, I was insomniac, severely anxious, and I was barely functioning. After years of neglecting my mental health, I had to face myself, and it was a cruel and ugly experience. For some context, at the time I was 17 and had just finished high school. Being that age coupled with my personality at the time, I didn't know how to have uncomfortable conversations or how to express myself in my feelings with the people that I loved. And I associated shame with emotional vulnerability, and it made me uncomfortable. I internalized most of my problems, and I lived by the motto of, I'm okay, it's fine, it's not a big deal, it doesn't bother me, blah, blah, blah. When in reality, it was very much so not fine. At the time, I had begun to fixate on the failure of a deeply rooted relationship. It's one of those bonds you can't really sever, even when you separate yourself from the person. It's one of those deeply ingrained, binding relationships that keep you connected by blood. That being said, there was many things I needed to address with my mental, but the overarching theme was my inability to tell the truth, even when it hurt. For years, I had allowed certain behaviors and hurtful things said to me slide, always taking the high road, always trying to be understanding, always accepting unfulfilled promises, always accepting I'm busy, sorry, always accepting the fact that the person could be there for everyone else but me, always accepting not being prioritized, always accepting being lied to and gaslit and excluded from everything essentially. But for some reason during that particular season, my mind finally said,
Hello,
Hello. Who's this?
it's me.
Yeah?
I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet.
You've the wrong number, hey.
and I was forced to confront my problems, especially the toxic relationship I had quietly coexisted in for as long as I could remember. After months of debilitating depression, chained mentally to my bed, too exhausted to engage with the world, it forced me to realize this is not healthy. My relationship with this person and my extended family is abnormal. It's not normal. This is not what a relationship should entail. This is not how I should be existing in a relationship with my family and this person. I came to the realization that it's not healthy to feel like you are unimportant, to feel replaceable, disposable, to feel like you cannot express yourself, like you are not enough. It's not healthy to settle for someone's bare minimum.
Please, sir, I want some more.
And it is especially unhealthy to resent yourself. For years, I had internalized my anger and turned it into self-hatred, like apoptosis. For those of you who do not know, apoptosis is when a cell undergoes a series of biochemical changes that leads to its own destruction, to its own demise. And that was essentially what I was doing to myself after neglecting my mental health. I had gotten to a point where I was volatile and I was about to self-implode. And it would not only hurt me, it would also affect the people around me. There were times where I couldn't even look in the mirror because I saw both the person I had loved so much and the person who disregarded me for so many years. I shut my family out and I isolated more than usual, desperately trying to find a way to fix my own problems without disturbing anyone. See, that was the thing about me. Even now, I find myself with that behavior. I always try to go about my own personal feelings and my own problems without disturbing anyone. I was trying to figure out why I was so hurt and why everything was hitting me so hard and so rawly all at once. And the irony of the situation, or the irony of it, was that not seeking help was affecting the people around me. It was in fact disturbing the people around me. They were watching me struggle even when I had resources readily available. But me being me, I couldn't see how my turmoil was affecting the people around me. The thing about depression is the way I sense it, or how I experienced it for myself, is it overwhelms you at the start. It eases just slightly, just a little bit, and then obliterates you the moment you start to come up for air. It's like an unrelenting tide where you think, okay, I'm finally finding my buoyancy in this chaotic and erratic oceanic climate. I'm finding my balance. I'm finding a way to stay afloat, and the wave just says boom. You you thought you were about to come up for air. I got something for you. On a serious note, one of the deepest wounds came from this particular realization. When you value someone so highly, you want them to see you. You want them to be in awe by you. You want them to be proud. You want them to include you, to make you feel a part of them and whatever they're interested in. And the best way that I can metaphorically describe it is like this. You're walking with someone, but you're faltering. You ask them to wait for you. You say, wait for me. Like, wait, I'm coming. Like, I'm on my way. Like, I'm getting myself together. And you're struggling to catch up. And when you finally look up from gathering yourself to prepare yourself to keep walking with them, all you can see is their figure disappearing into the distance, because they were so consumed with themselves, they could not see that you were faltering, that you still weren't beside them walking. They were so consumed with themselves to hold your hand and support you. In that season, in that time where I was shrouded by all these emotions, where my vision was clouded, where my mental was clouded, in that dark time, my mom, she shined a light on me. She offered me support. She listened to me. She treated me like a mental health patient with care and seriousness. And she respected my decision. And before I made my decision, I had a sit-down discussion with this person explicitly stating how I felt, noting specific examples so that they could understand the place I was coming from. I made sure to write them down. I made sure to write down what I wanted to say so I couldn't soften and minimize my feelings to make them feel comfortable. I couldn't minimize myself anymore to be less of a problem, to not be, how should I say it? To not disturb what they had going on. I set boundaries and expectations, and unfortunately they could not fulfill, and I could not afford to coexist in this relationship any longer. My mental health wasn't working out. My focus wasn't there. My emotions weren't in check. I could not focus or have the mental bearings enough to step into the new chapter of my life. I just couldn't do it anymore. The same way they abandoned me to get where they needed to go was the same decision I needed to make for myself. I needed to protect me. So I went no contact. I completely estranged myself from that person. I don't speak with them. I don't have casual meetups with them. We don't speak. We don't talk. I may reach out at times to fix whatever they think they can, but I was just over it. And even now I'm still over it. I'm just like, I'm at peace now. Mentally I'm well. I'm okay. And when family members ask, I explicitly but respectfully state something along the lines of, I'm protecting my peace right now. Therefore, I will not be reaching out to this person. People make their own decisions, and I have made mine. So over the years, through prayer, talking about it, and focusing on myself, I realized it was not my responsibility to find a way to be prioritized. It was not my responsibility to force someone to include me. It was especially not my responsibility to earn love. I realized that although I may have not gotten the earthly fathering I wanted, I received the spiritual fathering and nurturing that I needed in order to become who God has called me to be. I definitely can say that train wreck of a season caused me to cling to God more because that's all I had. That's all I had to keep my mind where it needed to be. Mentally, I'm in a much better place now. I don't allow things to fester. Like everyone, I have my days, but nothing I can't rebound from, nothing I can't meditate away. I stay on top of my mental health and I seek help more freely when I need it. I have an amazing support system. I am absolutely enamored by myself. When I look in the mirror, I see me and only me. I don't see that person who I used to despise. I don't see that person who hurt me. I genuinely see myself for who I am. And recently, I have some good news. Recently, I graduated summa cum laude with my BSN, and I will be continuing my education further. And with that concludes today's conversation. It was a bit of a heavy topic, but I do hope that this message finds you well, and in some way it encourages you to reassess your relationships and make some tough decisions and have uncomfortable conversations that need to be had in order for you to be mentally well. Merci en pile for listening to my discussion. Don't be afraid to weigh in on the comments with your own personal experiences. I'll be more than happy to read them. I'm always open to constructive criticism, so you are more than welcome to leave your critiques in the comments section as well. Once again, merci en pile, nawe pita. See you later.
What? Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big baby! Baby want a bottle? A big dirt